Hello, friends, and welcome back to the podcast. Coming to you from Atlanta, we are slowly finding, well, I am slowly finding my feet here down in the South. Yeah, life is definitely a little bit different, but in a really good way. I it's so relaxing down here. Like I'm in a forest, but in a city. It's very cool. I'm going to do an episode very shortly for you guys about the whole transition and the move from New York to Atlanta. But I'm really glad that I did make the decision, despite a lot of tears, a lot of fears, and some shit that I had to kind of figure out for myself. Anyway, so I want to talk to you guys about how the phrase girl boss is hurting women and just kind of how that whole, what's the word? The whole like I want to say trend. It's like this, we're in this like this movement of like this girl boss movement. And I am doing a big chapter on it in when my book comes out. So you'll have that to read as well. Hopefully it will be out beginning of next year. I just need to finish writing it, but it is nearly there. It's 70,000 words. I've just been so busy the last few months with so much travel and so much work that I have not had the time to get into that flow. Um, I've blocked off some time in my calendar in I think 2 weeks time to just focus on writing, which I'm actually really looking forward to. So that is something exciting to look forward to. And also, if you have not already seen, Queen Alchemy is open again for the last time this year. This is the 10th round. I'm so excited to do another round with those of you that have already joined and those of you coming through. If you don't know about my program, Queen Alchemy, have a look on my website. It is absolutely not to be missed. Every single woman owes it to herself to do this, to allow herself to be more confident, more in her feminine, heal all of her trauma, be able to speak her truth, draw boundaries, embody boundaries, all the good things. So this is the program that actually focuses on me taking you through all of the trauma work and doing all of the healing work. So whilst you do learn things in this program, the predominant focus is on the healing and the trauma work. So definitely make sure you join if you have not already, because you will not want to miss out. The results speak for themselves. Okay, so let's jump into the episode of why the phrase the girl boss, why the phrase girl boss is hurting women. Now, obviously, you guys have probably listened to many of my episodes before where I have helped you to realize that our core essence and our core desires as a feminine woman is to be connected, to feel love, to be deeply happy, to feel nourished in our body. If we are not feeling nourished from our relationships, from our environment, from our job, from all of those things, it's going to make us feel like we are really out of alignment. And obviously, like for men as well, we want them feeling nourished and aligned with their job and their life. But the way that men are made, and the way that their biology is and their hormonal profile, it means that they are more likely to be able to stick out a job, for example, that they hate for a longer period of time than we can, because of their testosterone and their body basically giving off the response of I am the provider and the protector. So their purpose is to provide and protect. And so, if he doesn't love his job, his purpose becomes to provide and protect for his family in whatever way, shape, or form that might look like. So he will continue to do a job until he finds a better one that he likes, right? So when it comes to social media and the media and whatever being like, so and so is a girl boss, or your friend saying you're such a girl boss, or you're so X, Y, and Z. In the beginning, I took it as a compliment, right? I also thought that it was fantastic to be told that you are a girl boss, and it feels like this tick of approval. And the tick of approval that you're getting is the tick of approval from society, right? If society is telling me that I am successful enough, I'm worthy enough, I'm doing enough, that I am the woman that's doing it all. And somehow we have decided that we are more worthy, or we're more loved, or we're more accepted as a woman if we are doing it all. And if you're just being a stay-at-home mom, or if you're just doing your job, or if you're just doing one thing, you will not feel like you are a girl boss. And it's like become this new thing for women to strive towards, of they want to be a girl boss. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't want to be successful, right? Do not think that the phrase girl boss means that you are successful, because if we were to really define the word success, and if we were to really look at the word success, I mean, it's individual. My idea of success and what I see success as in my life could be very different to how you see success and how your brother sees success and how your partner sees success. Like, I want to give you permission to define success in a way that feels really good for you. And you being a girl boss doesn't actually mean that you are necessarily successful. Now, if you being a girl boss makes you feel like you are successful, I want to challenge you, and I want you to think about where you got that idea from, because we got the idea from the media, right? We got the idea from the media that if we're doing it all, killing ourselves, hustling, and burnt out, then we're successful enough. We got the idea that us being a girl boss and being like praising women and forgetting about men basically, and not needing a man and being the leader in our relationship and dominating everything means that we are being successful. But my question for you is, like, does that nourish your heart? And it probably doesn't, because I know what a girl boss, like, if you were to live out the definition of a girl boss, I've done it before, it is not fucking satisfying. It is not soul nourishing, and it is not fulfilling. And you will not end your day feeling like your heart is full. You will end your day probably feeling like you've killed it and your ego is happy, but your heart is not happy. If you were to embody the definition of a girl boss, your ego is probably really happy, but is your heart really happy? Or do you feel happy because you've actually fulfilled an expectation, slash, you have filled what you think makes you a strong leading woman, right? And there are so many other ways to be a strong leading amazing woman, where you do not need to burn yourself out and grind and feel like you need to be this quote unquote girl boss, right? We think that we have to be everything and do everything in order to be happy. And that is not fucking true. Like, you having help in different areas of your life does not mean that you're not killing it. You having help in different areas of your life means that you would like help so that you can do everything. Like, I talk about some of my clients that are like pregnant and everything. Of like, I'm very open with the fact that when we decide to have a child, we will 100% be having a night nurse and a nanny. Not because I don't want to be a mom. I can't wait to be a mom. It's because I know that in order for me to do it all, in order for me to be a mom and a good one, in order for me to be an amazing partner and lover, in order for me to be the best version of myself for myself and for those around me, and in order for me to continue to run my business and be able to serve my clients, I need fucking help. There is no way that I can even do that now. I don't even have a child, and I can't. I have four dogs now. We have four dogs, right? I used to have two, and then now we merged. So even with the two dogs, I couldn't do it all. I needed help. And a lot of women feel like if they ask for, a lot of people actually feel like if they ask for help, they are admitting defeat. You are not admitting defeat. What you are doing is being proactive, and you are actually wanting to be able to do the best job at everything. And in order for you to do that, you need help, because there are only so many hours in a day, right? There are only so many things that you can do in one day. And there are people that are better than you at certain tasks, where they will really be able to exceed the job at hand because of their area of expertise. So let's just like wipe that one fucking off, where we think that we have to be everything and do everything in order to be happy, because that's not true. That is absolutely not true. And when we are striving to be this quote unquote girl boss, it is essentially not letting us live our lives in the way that our truth wants to be lived, right? So the whole girl boss movement and the whole girl boss, trend means that for a lot of women, they will ignore their desires in whatever way, shape, or form they are. We all have different desires. They will ignore their desires because they think that and they think that they have to be a girl boss, coming back to that idea that they think they have to be a girl boss in order to be X, Y, and Z. And if they were to just listen to their desires or listen to their desires, that wouldn't be fulfilling the, superwoman mum, for example, or superwoman kind of role that we now have. So there are plenty of women I've talked about on Instagram before, and I've gotten the feedback before. There are so many women that would just like to be, I shouldn't say that just, there are so many women that would like to be a stay-at-home mom. And they don't want to be a stay-at-home, they don't want to be a mom and a this and a that and a this and a that. They would just like to be a mom and a wife. Amazing. And society makes you feel like you are not doing enough or achieving enough if that is all, notice all you do. Oh, I'm just a stay at home mom and all I do is deal with my kids, right? If that is actually what makes you happy, then I am giving you full permission to do that. And there are plenty of women that will also be like, that won't make me happy. I would like to be a mom and this and that. Amazing. Then ask for fucking help, because you burning yourself out and killing yourself means that one area is going to fall. Like, there is no way that you can be an amazing mom, an amazing businesswoman, and an amazing wife. It's just not going to fucking happen, right? One, if not two of those are going to get one or two of them is going to kind of fall where the quality gets really diminished. And if you are a high quality woman, you want the quality of every area of your life that you give to be high quality, right? So you want to be able to show up in a high quality way for your relationship. You want to be able to show up in a high quality way for your child. You want to be able to show up in a high quality way for your business. So again, like, asking for help and not killing ourselves is actually the way to achieve that and still remain in our feminine, so our body is feeling nourished and listened to and not burnt out, right? We are not killing ourselves doing something or like burning ourselves out, because we're not made like that. You've heard me say it before. Women have a different hormonal system to men, and we do not have the capability hormonally to be under the same amount of stress that men can be under without our health showing that something is wrong. Okay. Also, when it comes to women wanting to be labeled as a girl boss, what they're actually wanting and what women are still wanting, and this is obviously a generalization, a lot of us are wanting outside and external validation instead of us working on feeling loved and enough for ourselves. So if you heal, right, your trauma, and we all have trauma, whether it's micro or macro trauma, if you heal your trauma around not feeling loved by your dad, for example, that is going to help you to not feel like you need outside and external validation that you are enough of a woman. If you heal your trauma around being used by people, that will mean that you will not feel this need to be Miss Independent and push everybody away and hustle and grind and not ask for help and trust anybody else. Like, your trauma and the things that have happened to you in the past, whether they are small traumas or big traumas, does affect the way in which you live your life and how you want and seek validation. And I can tell you right now, hustling and grinding and trying to be a girl boss is not a healthy way to receive validation, right? So chicken nugget on that one. And also, like, if you know you need to heal your stuff, please make sure that you are signed up and in Queen Alchemy, because you will not regret it. And it will help you so much in actually being able to run your business. If you have a business, there is no business coaching in there, but it will help you to run your business if you are a business owner, or to have your career and strive and climb the ladder in your career in a way that is actually aligned with you, and not in a way where you are killing yourself and burning yourself out so that you can achieve the title of being a quote unquote girl boss. Because us constantly trying to achieve the title of being a girl boss really isn't making us happy deep down. Like, you're not actually going to get the feeling that you want to get. It'll be like a short burst and you'll feel fucking empty. It'll actually make you feel emptier because everybody else is giving you this validation, but because you don't feel it for yourself, it makes you feel emptier, right? If like everybody else thinks I'm a girl boss, but like I just want to be loved, or everyone else thinks I'm a girl boss, which is great, but like I don't have any like deep relationships in my life, and that's all that I'm craving. So it will actually make you feel emptier if that's all that you're striving for, right? And when we are striving for these kind of things that frankly, are not a natural part of our body, and we're doing it in a way that is literally against our biology, we are ignoring, we are like breaking the trust with our body, right? We are like disassociating from our body's signals and what our body wants. So as a woman, like we can obviously go run a second business, whatever. I do it. Like that's what I do. Obviously, yeah, I was listening to my podcast. And I do it in a way as best as I can. Like we're all human. I do it in a way where I am honoring myself as a woman. So if I was trying to run my business like a man, it would be hustling and grinding every day. It would be, you know, when I'm feeling that lull before my period, it would be pushing through, ignoring it. It would, because they don't have that, right? Not because men necessarily ignore their body signals, but because they don't have a cycle. For example, it would be killing myself trying to understand all the finances and logistics in business, when the reality is that my brain, and some women's brains are really good at this, but my brain, especially my brain as a woman, is not good at this. And most women's brain are not, we are not as strong and as good as logistical analytical things because of the level of estrogen in our brains. We are more creative. Now, before our period, because we've got more progesterone and less estrogen, we can be a lot better at it. But I still cannot fucking do books, financial, like bookkeeping, logistics, like data stuff. It just like literally drains me. I cannot explain how much it drains me. So it doesn't mean I ignore it. It means that I don't push against that and make myself do something that I know that I'm not very strong at doing and really, really exhausts me. Instead, I hire that out to a man, right? That is really good at it, that explains everything to me and gives me kind of like the synopsis at the end of the fucking day. I don't need to do clients afterwards, lol. And I get what I need. So I get what I need to know, but I do not kill myself doing it. So, as a businesswoman, I try, of course, to run my business and my life in a way that feels as good as possible and where I'm listening to my body. And so many women, they do not listen to their bodies these days, and they actually disconnect from their body. So, when you're doing that, it continues to make more separation from you and yourself. So you feel like you know yourself less, you don't trust your body as much, you will find yourself like reaching for outside things to numb or band-aid things because you are not able to read your body's signals, and the list goes on. But something that is so common for women to experience these days is a lack of trust with their bodies. We are so bombarded with other people telling us what to do and not do that we end up not trusting ourselves. We are so bombarded with the media and with doctors and with God knows what else telling us, take this pill, do this symptoms equals this. And we do not trust our own deep body's wisdom. And if you continue to do this, you know, even when it comes to business stuff, or even when it comes to not listening to just your heart's desires as a woman, then you can see how over time it's going to create more distance and more avoidance and space, and not in a good way, between you and your body, right? And this whole thing, anyway, about being a girl boss is really ignoring our feminine energy as the caretaker, as the lover, as the mother, as the queen. And we are trying to be like men for approval, right? Where if you're insecure, hence heal the insecurity, you feel like if I am labeled a girl boss, then I'm accepted, then I'll feel more secure and I've won. It's this constant trying to prove yourself, and generally, it's trying to prove yourself that you're better or as good as a man. And I've talked about this before, where we are fucking different. And most men do not think that we are not as good as them, right? We think that about other women and then we blame it on men. We like put it on them. So if you can focus on healing your insecurities, you're not only going to find your business and your career to be way more successful, you're also going to be way less burnt out, and you're not going to feel this constant need for an approval and a validation outside of yourself, right? And then also on the topic of feminine energy and our bodies and connecting to our bodies is when we are rejecting our body's desire in whatever way, shape, or form that is for the label of being a girl boss, we are rejecting our body's desire to receive. And we have made it so hard to receive. So hard to receive. We put it on ourselves. We are naturally the receivers. We naturally know how to receive. Surrender and being in receivership feels like the most natural thing for the feminine. So for us to now make that one of the hardest things, it shows how far we have gone away from our sense of self. It shows how far we have distanced ourselves from our own core energy. And if you cannot receive, how are you going to expect yourself to receive greater and better love, better friends? How can you receive more money? How can you receive more success? It's like you are striving to get your ego to be happy with a title. And in that journey of striving to get your ego happy for a title of being a girl boss, you are more disconnected from yourself. You block yourself from more love, more success, more receivership. You create health implications as a result of it because you're going against your hormonal profile. And you're actually making yourself less happy because everyone's praising you around you, but you still feel that deep sense of insecurity, or you still feel that desire to want more love or whatever it is. And so, even though you have this great title, you got no one to share it with, or you've got no sense of worthiness, or no sense of confidence, or no self appreciation. So, it doesn't fucking mean anything, even when you get it, right? Remember that. If you actually want to be able to receive something, is it coming from a soul place or an ego place? Because if it's coming from an ego place, when you get it, it's not going to give you the feeling that you want. If it's coming from a soul place, when you get it, it's going to give you the feeling, and it's not going to change anything in your life. It's going to make you feel gratitude, and it's going to make you feel very proud of yourself, and you're going to be very humble about it. It's going to be completely different energy. There's going to be no anger or feistiness behind it. It's going to be gratitude and warmth behind it. And a lot of the girl boss energy comes with like anger towards men. It comes with this like, like, look at me, I'm a fucking girl boss. Like, look at me, women can do anything because someone's told us we can't. And whilst, yes, in history, we have been made to feel like we can't, or that we aren't worthy, or that we are, the second class. I completely know that, see that, and understand that. But if you're constantly living in the fucking past, how are you going to expect yourself to have the life that you would like to have as a woman in the 21st century? And I know about obviously like Roe versus Wade. Roe v. Wade. I'm going to do an episode about all that. So it feels like we've gone back 100 years in the fucking past. I completely understand that. That's a separate topic, right? Let's not dwell on that problem. Let's just focus on the task at hand of talking about the girl boss movement. Okay, so next point. Okay, so the next thing is how I want to talk about how the girl boss movement affects our romantic relationships. This is a really, I'm excited to talk about this one with you guys. So obviously, you guys know that I talk about emasculation and not doing it towards men. If you feel like, if you position yourself like you are more worthy or work harder or are more deserving than your romantic partner because you're a girl boss and you're a woman working, how do you think that makes him feel? Like, let me just put it this way. Where is the boy boss movement? Also, I don't like that it's girl boss. It's a woman. Like, I am a fucking woman. I am not a girl. Like, I am a woman. The only time I'm a girl is maybe in the bedroom, but other than that, I am a woman. Right. So there is no boy boss movement. There is no praise on men working hard. There is no praise on men trying to do everything. But as soon as a woman tries to do everything, she is a girl boss. So if you are constantly parading around like a girl boss, or you're constantly grinding, killing yourself, hustling to try and get this title of a girl boss or to maintain a title of a girl boss, how do you think it's going to affect your romantic relationship? And not just because he gets jealous or whatever you want to say about you being a girl boss, but because you don't prioritize our core number one need as a feminine woman. You don't prioritize your relationship because you are prioritizing work all the time. And I want to preface, there are moments where I'm like, I have to work. There are totally moments where I do that. And the way that I approach that and the way that it is conducted that day or that week is not in a way where I am better than my boyfriend. It is never conducted like I work harder or I'm more worthy of achievements or I'm more X, Y, and Z because I'm a woman working or because I'm a girl boss. I don't like when people call me a girl boss, actually. It makes me feel a bit like, because I just like don't want to be put in that group. Personally, I don't want to be put in a group where I am praised because I'm a woman working. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm a woman working. Like, why do I need to be praised for that? Does that make sense? It's like one of the topics I want to talk to you guys about was the victimhood of so many women live in victimhood, right? So because they live in victimhood, they want praise for doing something as a woman. And I'm like, wow, that just literally screams insecurity. If you are constantly dwelling on women have no rights, then yeah, you're playing in your victimhood and you are going to be shouting from the rooftop, all the girl boss, all the women supporting women, all the like blah, 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 blah. But if you don't make it a big deal, it's because it's actually not a big deal to you. If you are making something a big deal, it's generally speaking because you're insecure about it or because you don't believe it. So if you are like, how do I phrase this in a way that I'm trying to like explain to you guys? I'm hoping that you get it. I don't make it a big deal that I'm a woman working. I'm like, yeah, I'm a woman working. And like, what? I just don't need to make it a big deal. I don't need to make it a big deal that I like juggle a few things. Like I just don't like I don't want to make it a big deal that I'm a successful woman because why does it need to be a big deal? Why can't we make it the norm? If you want to make something the norm, stop making it a big fucking deal. Because as soon as you make something a big deal, you are saying that it's not normal, quote unquote. And you're almost like excluding yourself. You're almost like making yourself the sore thumb. Like if we're making successful women not normal, can you see the energy that's being like put out? And I'm not trying to make this woo woo. I'm trying to like explain to you, like, we are going to continue to keep women working as something that is not normal because we constantly dwell on how not normal it is, right? If you're dwelling on something, we exacerbate it. It becomes a collective energy. So why are we dwelling on women working and being moms? Like, if we want to make that more the norm, then we need to stop making it a big deal and instead being like, yeah, like she works, she's successful, like the end. Like, not, and she's a girl boss, and she's this, like, and she's like, I get that people often want, they're often saying it as that they're saying that they're bringing it across from the place of they're trying to compliment you. But I encourage you, ladies and men, what if we stopped making girl boss a compliment? Because it's also putting it could, and also at the same time putting down men. Why don't we stop making girl boss a compliment and we instead just compliment women for doing a great job at something? Like, you are doing a great job at your business. You're killing it in your business. Thank you. Like, I don't want the girl boss thing because the reality is that I'm not killing it at everything. Like, shit falls sometimes. I have help. I'm not hustling. I'm not burning myself out. Like, I am not the definition of a girl boss. I don't want to be the definition of a girl boss. I am a feminine woman that is, yes, running her business and prioritizes the fuck out of her romantic relationship and will continue to do so. That is what I do, right? I am a professional businesswoman where I, as much as I can, focus on the energy and alignment of things in my business. And behind the scenes, there is logistics and operations and finance happening that I don't want to get heavily involved in, but I know needs to be there. So I have it there, right? It's there, it's happening because I'm running a proper professional business. I'm not just running like some flimsy fun thing. It's a proper professional company. It's actually what it's a company with many moving parts and many legs of the company right? But I don't want to be put on a pedestal because I am not different to other women. I don't want women to think that if they're not doing what I'm doing, that they're somehow less than. That's not the intention here, right? I'm just doing my job. I'm doing my thing. And yes, it's happened to be a big business. And I love that. And I want a big business. And I want to be able to, have a big footprint on the world in a good way. I want that, but I don't want to be put on a pedestal. And I do not want women and people to think that I prioritize my business and I burn myself out and hustle myself doing it because that's what a girl boss is. And I'm not a girl boss. So I don't know where that tangent went, but let's try and stop complimenting women on the girl boss thing, and let's try and make it more specific and individual. And let's also praise women for being amazing mums and for prioritizing their romantic relationships and frankly just fucking doing what makes them happy, right? That's what we want to actually be doing. And if you're wondering about like how do I know what feels like, me being in alignment, me being happy, me living in a way that is in tune with my feminine desires and that will make me happy long term, and X, Y, and Z, all things I've been talking about, is feminine energy and you being in your feminine. It feels like coming home. There is a sense of I'm home. So when you are not in your feminine, it feels frantic, you feel disconnected, you feel like chasing. You're like chasing something all the time. It's like head frantic, chasing, running after, wanting, like getting something outside of yourself. Feminine energy is coming home. It's the receivership, it's the surrender. That is truly feminine energy. And you can be an amazing feminine woman that is killing it with leadership and running her business in her feminine because you're doing it in a way that feels like home. You're surrendering, you are trusting, you are receiving, you are not pushing, hustling, and killing yourself trying to do something, right? So when we come back to that energy, we can heal ourselves as women. Whereas when we're trying to strive for this external validation of being a girl boss, we're hurting ourselves. We are making ourselves feel like our desires are wrong and that we have to go and fill society's expectations instead of listening to our own desires, whatever they may be, as a woman. The other thing also that I don't like about the girl boss vibe is that we put a facade up of like our girl boss vibe to cover the hurt, the pain, the insecurity, the mind chatter, the fear, the sorrow, the grief that we are feeling. And it's not healthy, right? We feel like we have to have this front all the time to come across successful and professional and killing it, right? It has this energy of like, she walks into letters all the time, always got her shit together and like running business, doing mom, blah, 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 like has an epic relationship, like she's a fucking girl boss. And what that means is that if you're striving for that, you are striving for this image, this made up woman. She doesn't fucking exist, right? You're striving for this made up woman. And in that striving, you will put a facade up to try and meet this image that you've created of yourself. And that facade is going to cause you to ignore, right? Your feelings, ignore your shit, ignore your insecurities, ignore your pain, ignore your hurt. And one of the most common threads in women in business is that they are killing it in their business and they are miserable in their personal life. They do not have the man of their dreams. They do not have soul-filling relationships. They are exhausted all the time. They actually get hurt. Like I was saying, it hurts them that all they get is these compliments about their success. But it's like, I don't give a fuck about my success because I have no one to share it with. It is one of the most common threads that I see. And hence, I'm doing this episode because I want us to all come back to the truth of ourselves as women. That no matter how successful you are, no matter how much money you have, you will not be deeply happy and fulfilled in your life if you do not have the relationships of your dreams, if you do not have deep soul filling connection, and if you do not feel like you have a lot of love in your life. So please, 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 this is permission to like change some shit up in your life if you need to. And this is why I am so passionate and why I want you guys to understand the importance of healing the root of the things that we cover up, right? Healing the root of the pain, of the insecurity, of the past traumas, of the fear, of the grief, of the sorrow, of the mind chatter, of the anxiety, the depression, whatever it is that comes up, or whatever it is that is coming up, even though you've healed the stuff, like things will still come up for you in different areas of your life. Like when you get into a relationship, new shit comes up, old things come up in new ways. When your business hits new levels, you're going to have new things come up. It doesn't mean that you are not killing it as a woman. In fact, the opposite is true. You're moving through, you're quantum leaping, you're growing, and you putting a mask on is going to make you feel more empty, more hollow, and more alone. Getting help healing the trauma, right? Healing whatever needs to be healed, the abandonment, the fear, the worry, the sorrow, the will it ever happen, the fear of time running out, like healing all of those things so that you can come back into alignment, into that high frequency that you want to be in, will allow you to feel so much happier along your journey of building success and of growing as a woman in whatever way, shape, or form you want to be. And when we get into that true alignment, that is serious feminine boss vibes. So the last thing that I want to say, just to wrap it all up, is in a nutshell, in a nutshell, the girl boss movement, right? Not the feminine thing. That's the good thing. The girl boss movement dishonors our desires to be looked after and led by women. It makes us think that we need to be the ones leading, striving, killing, determining, decision making, X, Y, and Z all the time. And that you are somehow a better woman, a more successful woman if you are in that energy. And if you desire to be led, to receive, to not work, to look after your children, to fucking garden, whatever it is, you are somehow less than a woman. And it's literally become that we have like flipped the script from back when women were housewives, right? That's all they could do. They weren't allowed to work. It's like we flipped the script where if you would like to be a housewife and not work, like you're somehow less than, right? And it's like it's this expectation that all women need to be working. And this isn't to say that you can't work as a woman, obviously, because I'm a working woman. This is to say that I am encouraging you to ensure that you are not working to the point where you are of detriment to your heart and your soul as a feminine woman. You are also prioritizing your relationships, your love life, your happiness, your health, all the other things that are actually going to nourish your soul and allow you to feel like your life is fucking amazing. So, with that, we're going to wrap it up. Please make sure that you have submitted your form to join Queen Alchemy. Once you submit the form and tick the box for which payment option you would like, whether it's split payment or pay in full, then I will email you with all the details that you can jump in. And if anything needs tweaking, if you need a one-on-one, if it's not going to be the right fit for you, whatever it is, then I will let you know when I email you. I am the one that emails, just so that you guys know it's not put through a system or nobody else emails. I am the one that is emailing, so you can make sure that so that you can know that I am looking after you all. And then I also wanted to mention that if you are wanting to join Baba, I am going to change the name of it. I just want to like give the name a revamp. And just like sometimes changing the name can just be fun for launching. So I'm going to change the name of it, but the content is still going to be there. And everything. So if you are not on the waitlist for Baba, I would recommend that you do so if you have related to this podcast and if you want to be able to run your business in more of a feminine way, then please make sure you're on that wait list so that you can join the next round. It is so juicy as always. All the results, testimonials, X, Y, and Z are on the website. If you haven't left a review on the podcast, I'd appreciate if you do so. And please make sure that you share and tag me in this episode, Monica Yates Health, and Feminine as Fuck, so that I can repost it on my Instagram story. I really appreciate it when you guys do that. And I know this episode will help wake up so many women to kind of the lies that we're being told by the media. Because frankly, this is like one big fat lie where the more of a girl boss that you are, the more successful that you are when it comes to business, the better you are as a woman. I call bullshit the women out there that are mums, that are not mums, that are just gardening and tending to like their fucking dogs. You are also amazing. Every woman is amazing, no matter what her choices are. Please do, please, please, please. There is one thing that you take away from the episode also, it is to understand that your truth and what you would like to do as a woman is perfect, and that you do not need to fill the shoes or the expectations of anybody else in your life or in society. Do what makes your heart and soul happy.